just make this simple video. So it's all going to be about bootstrap. Now to make a bootstrap, I'm going to be using, are you guys always using record notes here? So if I use sublime, is it okay? Or any difficult? The same way they make in whatever is the same way we make the other side in record. So I'm just going to go some of my projects off and I have this down. So now this is it. This is my bootstrap. I'm trying to bring the folder in there. So the way you guys have it in your record is the very way we have it here. There's no big difference. Now, what I'll try to come up with, try to look into, instead of learning CSS, because if you check CSS like this, we have internal CSS, external CSS, and the rest. Now, for example, if you try to say a simple website, if I'm having an external CSS, I'm going to concentrate on external CSS because Bootstrap is much more of external. Maybe I have something main.css. So here, maybe in a body, you can say maybe I'm creating a div. You know how to use div, not so? Good. So if you say maybe, for example, maybe let me say this is main. That's like the main body. Inside here, I just going to come and say dot because we said here this is a class. So class moves with the dot, not so? Yes, dot main. Don't know whether my friends from behind can see. So something like that, but I'm going to give you the video, don't worry. So that's dot me, just follow a little bit. That's dot main. So meaning if you're going to say maybe, let me say when you try to say maybe background, you get it? Maybe you say red. Get? You're trying to tell the body here that anything that's going to be inside here, maybe H1, and say maybe simple website. You get? And try to refresh this in the browser. You get my point here. I would expect this to have this in CSS by the time you add here something called the link, which is coming from the main, because you're trying to put main. Main is this one here. You get my point? Yes. So when you try to do maybe simple, and this is the main, everything in the main is going to be having a background of red. So if you shake here now again and try to refresh here, we shall have red. You get? Now that is called normal CSS. Where you can even say I want the color to be white, if that's what you want. I also want the padding to be of maybe 10 pixels, depending on what you want. You get? Maybe margin, I don't know. If you also want margin, etc. Now in my case, I'm not going to do much there. I'm just going to leave that. In that you have something like that. Maybe if you want the text in the body, that's this one here. That implies it is main, but you're dealing with H1. So you can just go to main here. I'm going to show you some recording. I don't know whether it's done by your teacher, but this is it. So instead of again opening down here and you say dot main, then you do this and say H1, That's all this stuff. Don't waste time with that. Just come inside the body. Just say inside main, what do I have? I also have H1. Just come there, H1, and open up. Simple. Don't again waste, go down and again do this. That's wastage of time. Just go inside there and open up. And say maybe I want the text this time around to be in the center. In that by the time you refresh this, you're now talking to that particular kind of code. Now can we go to reality? Like can we go to the real stuffs? So at least I believe you guys studied HTML, CSS. So I don't want to interfere with what you guys studied with your teacher. Now let me just do something new. Now I'm going to take to this site. It's called the other. You ask a class of the other year 3, year 2. Year 2 semester 1. I remember having a class with them last week. This very week, and I showed them this. So there's a website called getbootstrap.com. It's a website that we shall be using for Bootstrap. So I'm going to place all of this. So instead of wasting time on this, I'm going to make with you guys a complete project in just 10 minutes. 10 minutes should be done. So I'm going to be having this. So you guys, all of you guys, for the system, you can use this source code for free. All of you are going to give you, and even the video, you can use it. So what I'm going to be learning right now, we're going to just come up with a simple student registration system. Get registration system. Then with the people I'm doing this project, they're not here. I don't want them to disturb me. Okay, so student registration system, what am I targeting? At the moment, I'm targeting on what? Registration part of the student. Get? I'm doing also the part for login. I'm also doing something of forgot what? Password. You get? Sorry. Which other thing should be put there? Talk also of the forms. Talk also of the tables. So those I'm going to handle. Everything I'm going to only give it 5 minutes. So 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. How many minutes? This is 5. That's 30 minutes. Okay, let's just make sure in 30 minutes we have this done. But I have only 43 minutes. Anyone with the power? If that socket works, let me put from the charger. If that socket works, do we have where we can get the internet? Meaning the socket, because this one black soft is going to block us. Which room? Can we go back? Computer lab, are they done with the lecture? So wait for it to shut down, then you go. Hmm? Can we carry this seat? Let me just. Now this is it. Whoever's doing student, I'm just giving assumption. I'm not trying to steal for him marks. No. Is he even my student? Is he? I'm going to supervise that person for restaurant for student registration system. Am I the supervisor? Where I have him here? Well, I'm very serious. It's me to supervise them. Who are those? And you? At least go. So are you the one for the student registration system? I'm asking, just looking at us. Okay. Now get me a very fast. I believe your project is in PHP, not so? Now I'm going to shift this to PHP. So I'm going to make for you a complete project very fast. Meaning I'm going to leave here when we have a complete student registration management system, complete front end done with our own bootstrap. Is it okay? So I'm going to just make it. It's up to you to code it and summarize the things. Then on the other hand, it's up to you to take some time and take note. Now, when you go to getbootstrap.com, you'll go to where they said docs. You can either go to where they said docs. You see in documents will show you blah blah how you to get bootstrap. So I'm interested in this very fast. When you just open up, are you seeing this part here? Just the second line. Or even this you'll find on my video. Those guys who wants it. But I'm going to give you all of this. So just copy this and paste it here in the browser. Click there. So this is going to generate for the bootstrap we are going to use. Is it okay? Now this is the latest version of bootstrap. Some of you guys may be interested in the other version of bootstrap, which is a bit lower. You get my point? So on the other hand, to avoid such a scenarios of us not doing the right thing, come back here. You can change the version of the bootstrap to the version of bootstrap maybe you have ever used, or maybe the lowest version, which may be supports. Some of you guys, I don't know, maybe your browser is not updated etc. And some of this thing may not work as expected. You can go to the previous releases, like this one here. So it loads for you the same thing, the same way, just come and copy this very line of code. We're only interested in bootstrap. Come and copy that and paste it here. So meaning I'm going to replace, instead of storing up the version 5, I'm storing version 4. You click there. My brothers, the same way I'm doing this system, the same login, the same registration, my dear, is the same way yours is going to be if it's the web-based. You get my point? So it implies just copy the same code, paste the other side, change the title of the project, make the project yours. Now I expect the rest of the project to be done by you. Like I expect the logic part of it to be implemented by you now. Is it okay? Does it make sense? But for him, I'm going to complete everything. Eh? For you guys whom we okay, now this cuts across for those registration management system, online booking system, blah 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 system. I get my point. The same code, but don't do the same thing. Don't give me what I've given you. Okay, let's go back. So it's up to you to give me the tithe if you are giving me. Now come back. But also for those who need help after this class, especially on the final project, I'll be available. Is it okay? We can coordinate online. Now I don't want to waste much time. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go to my exam. Remember initially we are having the project on browser. So I'm no longer interested on that. I'm interested now to have the project inside exam, see in exam, htdocs. So inside htdocs here, I'm going to create a folder and I'm going to call it student registration management system. Do I make sense? Good. So in this very folder, that's where I'm going to have everything of ours. So I'm also going to come back here. This was just the introduction, like welcome to, blah, blah, blah. I expect you guys to really know some bit of CSS and blah, blah. And on the other hand, still, we're going to join it somewhere, like you're going to do it somewhere. Is it okay? It's some CSS which I'll do it somewhere. So I'm just going to come in here. and I just drag this there. Is it okay? I have this. So inside here, I'm going to first look onto what are we going to take. We need the registration, we need the login, we need the what. So always the first thing first in the project is the login part, not so? But you're not going to say a project moves the login. The right process to make a good project, you should start with the index.php or index.html. But in this case, we are going to use what? PHP. So it should be index.php. So what you're going to do, come in here. Just come and say index.php. Now you guys see that. So index.php is not going to have anything, but it's going to have a redirect. That when someone clicks there, it should just take him to login. It checks first, is that person registered? The next thing I'm going to do here is the connector. So I'm also going to create a connector here. What do I mean by a connector? Like a DB connection, maybe db.php. Anyone with some light is all over one. Typing out. Okay, they are we okay. But I believe your friends should be behind. They should not get color blindness. Just keyboard once, just once here, so that the other people can see the reflection. Okay, so that's it. So this db dot whatever is going to be for our connection. I get it. You want to calculate it. Your friends will not see. Okay, that's okay. Now this is it. The database connections. Which database? What are you guys been using? MySQL underscore connect. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to just come in here and I'm going to just make MySQL stuff. Is it okay? Now I'm going to use the procedure MySQL which you guys always use. Maybe like me say if I'm connecting, the first thing is essential. Essential what? Start. Meaning I'm starting up the session in my MySQL. And before starting up the session, and I'm also going to call something ops, which is going to make my project rerun to real code. Each time I call it, it already understands that which version am I using and what am I trying to work with. And to avoid errors in case I'm trying to make a lot of redirection in PHP. Now the next thing I'm going to do here now is to come up with something called the connection. So I'm going to just say maybe connection, or maybe connection is equal to we said MySQL underscore what? Connect, not so. So I can come in here and I define my connections. Maybe DB name, which is the database name. You specify. Maybe you have also the host name. You specify, which in our case is called what? The local host. Okay. Now we also have something else which is called the what? The password or DB. I'm just going to call the DB pass, which is called what? Nothing. Okay, because you're not online, you're offline. Is it okay? Another thing, what do we need? DB user. In our case, we're also going to find our user. In our case, since we're using local, the DB user is what? Root. So just come on here and do it. So the first thing always here is what? It's the host name good. The next is what? What? That's DB user. Next. Nanga mwerabira mangu. Musoma mmwe. Ate katumwagala mugabe na mukulu. Weremu. So the next is DB what? DB name. Is it okay? So yes. So here down you can check for the connection if blah blah if connection or connected equaling a zero success. That may be success. Now I'm not going to enable it. If there's an error, so that's going to be something called. Don't worry, even much I'm on speed, I'm recording. Is it okay? So you guys will not get so lost. So maybe there's an error found somewhere. You get my point? So how is this project? The project is called SRMS, Student Registration Management System. So I just need to make sure that Apache is enabled. Remember, I'm using a sample in my case. Just make sure Apache is running, and also make sure that MySQL is running. So when you come back here on the browser, just come back. Remember, even in Bootstrap, you haven't talked to it yet. Just go there and type SRMS. Get? Now remember, it's not yet picking the connection, but our connection is under that. You get? Which call to find MySQL blah 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 online. Check that. I think there's a problem we have made somewhere here. If this is going to confuse you for the first time, what you can do, I always use PDO. You can just type your localhost, you get. The next is what? Remember, there's a localhost, is that the DB name. So this, the database, this is what? What we have here? This is the user, which is the root. That's the password, and this is the DB name, which is what? Hey, sorry, I think this one is a reason why. What I think what we did previous was correct, not so. So what we just lacked was the database. So let's create our database here first. So I'm just going to come in here and I put locals/phmadmin. Okay, so I'm just going to create up a database. I'm going to just call it SRMS. Get? So we don't have any user yet. So SRMS. I hope that's done. So refresh here. There's still a problem. Physical charge. Why is it not connected? CRMS. If that's the point, we check here. CRMS. You just make something simple. I have your local host. I have the root. I have the password. Now the connector, which is CRM. Oh, now what's going on? And you guys can't even talk. Don't you see that I have made a problem somewhere? The problem is that I'm giving the name in the password. Yes. So something like that. So expect that. Right, Ichi, what's going on? This is localhost, this is whatever, this DB user. So our use is the root. So just look, let's just look on to make something simple. Root, and this is what that, and then here we have what? CRMS, not so? So whereby we know that if we do that, if us comment this off. This connection because from MySQL, oh, I'm using MySQL, so MySQL I. In MySQL I, let's connect. So I'm connecting that to success. So that implies if I unconnect, comment this back, and I just add here MySQL I because I'm using MySQL I in my case. Okay, good. So we already have the same thing. Is it okay? Okay, so now the next move, I'm done with the connection, and that's done. Now I'm going to come back here home. So now home, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be finding something. So I'm going to just come and say if maybe, remember if you look onto that connection, if for the connection, just going to go and bring it, like just going to bring db.php. So there's nothing else you need from there. There's nothing else I need from there. So I'm including the database connection here in the index page. And we also want to put if insert. If insert what? So remember we already have calling extension here. Let's go back to create up some users that we can have something. So just do something here. We have something going on this side. Sugar? Still for MIT? Something different. Okay, so I'm just putting something called users, and inside users, we're just going to put up user ID. That's the ID for the user, for those people who are registering. And also, we're creating up something there, first name. We also have something called their last name. We also have something like what? Their phone. Email. I don't want to be so complicated. I want just the password. Is it okay? So I'm changing all of this to version. Are you getting me? All of version. So I'm just going to come up with that there. Get that. Get that. Get that. Is it okay? So here you're trying to connect up the database, which in my case I'm doing. I'm making up all of this. So this user ID by default this is 11. So they don't put it. Since we know that user ID is going to be 11. Is it okay? Okay. So when I just save, you realize that all of this is done. So I can make my system run more faster, very load faster online later on by selecting all and I index them. Hope you understood now what is indexing and why do we have it. So indexing makes the project move a little bit more faster. and all loads more faster. So when I come back to the main page, I think you can see it's showing success. Not so? The reason you know why it's bringing success because I've included DB, which is coming from here. You get? I've included that there. So I don't want echo success for us anymore. You get? I've disabled it. So we already know in our case that we did the successfully logged in. Is it okay? But not logged in. We're successfully connected. Okay. So the next move I'm going to now make here after doing that, I'm going now to say, now remember, what are the features or what are the tables we are talking about right now for someone to log into our system? Hmm? We need the following. So for that, I'm putting that. So these are the user ID, the full name, blah, 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 the rest. So what you're going to do here, you're going to do the condition. If, if what? If essential. Hmm? You're trying to say if essential. You're trying to say if essential. Um, if essential user ID. Hmm? That implies what I'm trying to say. If, just get me here. If empty, hmm? Essential user ID. Singa user ID teriiko nga teri mu essential. Hmm? What do you want? By default, let the person go where? So you're trying to direct the user. To where? Location. Location where? Hmm? Login namwe. We're trying to say if the user ID is not logged in, like it's not in essential, go to login. You get my point? So I said we have login, we have register also here. Hmm? And also have what? Home. Let me just break it simple. We also have home page, which is that. Is it okay? Yeah. So we already have, if user ID is not in essential, like if he's not logged in, if he's not in, how about else? Else, what are we trying to mean here? You get? When user is logged in, like if he's as logged in, like as is done with this essential part, has come in, and you get the point. Good. So we check now again. We said if it is not that, automatically the system will take us to login by default. So although you go there without doing anything, when you just press enter, it just takes you by default where? To the page called what? Login. Not so? So you come back to login. Now in our login, we don't have anything like a bootstrap, we don't have anything. Because we'll generate that, I'll just say maybe login what? Login system. This way we expect to have the login. Hmm? So that's where now we're going to bring our bootstrap, this one here. Are you getting me? Now which bootstrap are we talking about? This bootstrap 4.6.2. So come back here, you just click here, copy here, go inside here, and then you click here. You get my point? Now you can create a folder like CSS to handle all of your CSS things, because even bootstrap is part of CSS. I get my point? So when I click save, it implies automatically it's going to be saved inside here. I think I've done it. If you are lost, I'm repeating the last time. You come back here, just hold Ctrl S. Now automatically it was inside here, come inside there and paste that code there. Automatically it's going to download everything and you have a copy of it there. Is it okay? But our friend who has provided us with the internet, you can turn your internet. Of course, I'm done with what I want, especially the connection with the database. Now the next thing now here, what do we want? We want now to bring the connection here. I get my point. So you come back on the head section and you open up something called link. You get? So you're connecting with the CSS. We're talking to the folder called what? CSS. Inside that folder, we have the following. Where is that? We have the following, which is that. So meaning inside that folder, we have that such things as well. Is it okay? Yes. So now here, when you try to cross-check, we're done with the connecting with the bootstrap. The bootstrap has already taken over this page. So with bootstrap, bootstrap has some behaviors that you have to know. That all things in bootstrap have 12 rows. For example, from here, like from this side here, up to here on the left, it's equals to 12. So, but you can divide it to 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 12. It's up to you. In my case, let me just give a sample. How do you divide that? You put something called div. So inside div, we're managed by something called rows, which I'm saying the rows help us to divide. For example, if I say that this is going to be maybe H1, and I say maybe simple website, that's already going to be divided by 12. What do I mean here? The simple website is going to be divided by 12. You see, it's starting from the margin up to this point. So what do I mean here? That for it to divide and fully work and follow the procedures of HTML5, of HTML5 and Bootstrap, and I said that I want the entire stuff here to be taken by 12, I paste that there. In that here is moving up from here to last because we said it 12. If I want to divide it into more things, I can say I want this also. Let me just change something. Let me just put a color here. But if you want to change the color, they just say big, maybe primary. Primary means I want the color to be what? The color to be green. So in Bootstrap, we have three things we are going to be learning for colors. Let me say colors. For example, blue, you guys, it's called what? Primary. It's called primary. The green, you guys know, it's called what? It's called danger. Which another color? Which other? There's some color which is informative. It's like blue. It's not blue. It's like pale blue bit. Eh? For them, they call them like should we call them a little bit of pale blue or what? Let's just call them pale blue. Or I don't know whether it's indigo. I don't know. I'm not very good in coloring. We call them info. You get? If you want a blacker color, black, we just do something called dark. And other more things. If you want yellow color, in whatever here we call them warning. So we're going to look onto how to do these things. For example, if I want the color primary, which means I want blue, for that case, I'll just do that. That's enough. So meaning here, you just type here, big, you get blue, primary. Big primary, it implies I'm trying to talk to blue color. If you just want to change on any other color, like for example, danger, just paste the danger there. That's enough. So you don't need to waste time a lot of coding. It will be doing itself. Is it okay? Because you already connected it here. Get my point? If you want our text to be in the middle, previously I showed you from the other stuff where you go in, you go to H1, blah, blah, you speak to it. If you want the text to be in the middle, just come and create a class and say text, center. You can even close your eyes while coding. It's very simple. You get? So text center makes our text in the middle. If you also want the text to be having another color like white, etc., just say text, just say white. Text white. Whereby the text white property gives us a chance to make our text to be white. Does that make sense? Now let's make real things. Is it okay? So this one, I'm going to leave it for study purpose, but I'm going to comment it off. Now I'm starting up a new project. So inside here, I'm going to just create another row. And then inside the row, I want to make a login. So since it's going to be a login, I'm going to divide our div. So I'm going to say div, or instead of 6, I'm going to give it 4. In that here, I do nothing. I give it nothing in simple terms. So I told you the entire div should be how many? The entire row should be 12, isn't it? So it implies I'm going to use the one in the middle, because when I type anything here, and I type anything here, and I type anything here, you're going to realize that things are differently separated. There's this, there's this, there's this. Now we don't want to speak to this. We don't want to speak to this. We want to speak to this. Is it okay? So it's very, very simple. So you come back here. Come back here and just move this off. We don't want to talk to them. We don't also want to talk to that. We just come in here and say login form. Does that make sense? Come back here. Come in the middle and just speak to this form of ours, which is this one here. So I'm going to just come in here and say form. Because I'm not trying to use a property of HTML5, as I was also speaking to Bootstrap. So I'm also going to come inside here and I just open up here something and I say maybe a form. And I want to speak to there, we have label, maybe first name. Inside our first name, we have an input, which is going to be giving us, that implies it's going to be a text, and this is going to be a first name, and we also have a class. So now we want our form to look nice, a little bit nicer. So we'll just say form, we give something called form. Like so. You can also put a placeholder if you want, like maybe say enter maybe first name if you want. Okay, whereby enter first name. So you're going to get something like that, simple as that. Now, I don't want this thing on top. Is it okay? But I can just make, since it's a student project, I can just call it maybe a student registration system. Do I make sense now? Yes. So I can change the color so that they all look nice. Which color is much more good? Should we use red throughout? We use what? Which color should I use? Let me just use primary all throughout, not so. And then that implies here we're going to have something like that. Get? So have this. So I'm also Bootstrap also provide something called card. So you can actually come inside in this very div, you create a div and you put all of your form inside that div. In that you have something more pleasant and more nice. It's okay with you guys. Something like this. Then inside here, I just come in and I put something called the card. Inside it, it makes a little bit of pop of our thing. See that kind of a card. Hmm? Now you can also put something called instead of saying padding. In Bootstrap, we have a gonza. You just say p minus 2. P minus 2. Whereby p minus 2 is a property. I think you can see a little bit of a card. Are you seeing something there? Yeah. If you want more of that, you can say p minus 4. Is it okay? The maximum there. Are you seeing that? I think it looks more professional. Good. So you come back here now. Just copy this. I'm going to reduce it a little bit so that you can follow along. So you just come and copy this very div. Remember what we had previously in our login here. Where is it in our home? Which page was it? Here. I think this we're interested to talk with this. So you go back here. In our login, we don't need much. We just need some few things. If you guys remember, we just need the phone number and the password, or email with the password. Let me just say we're going to use email and password. Is it okay? So that implies here we have email. So just come and change this one to email. Is it okay? And also this is going to be an email. Is it fine? Then you're telling somebody to enter email. Is it okay? The next thing I expect to have here is to talk to something called the what? Password. Is it okay? So also this is going to be what? Password. You know that, not so? Password. So that implies this is also going to be password. So you also can tell someone to enter what? Password. So it implies the next thing I have to do now with my Bootstrap is to move all of this and instead talk to what? To a button. So which is going to be what? Login. Login. So inside here, I'm going to just put, but for you to make a login button, you say btn minus the color we want, which in the case is primary. We also want to make our button to be something called a submitting what? Button. And also want to give a button name, maybe it's called login btn, maybe a login button. See, you get my point. Now don't forget, here we also have to talk to a method in which we are going to be talking to the database. The method we are going to communicate to the database and the action. In this case of ours, the action is nothing. We're not putting anything there. We're leaving it open because we are going to be requesting login for that page essential. So I should have something nice as that. So a simple login page. And when you click there, it just loads it. Now the next point, what we want at the moment, when I'm inside there, can I also go back to register? So you make a humble request here, outside here. Just make a simple paragraph, say, not yet with account. What do you want to do? Put a simple href. Just come and put here something called what? Register. So you come back here now and just put something called you can make it a button, you can just make it a simple button which is like a link, like this. Link. It's also a bootstrap behavior which is nice for that. And our register is called just register. But what? PHP, I'm done. Get? So that takes you back. So you see, when you click this, click here, it takes you back to register. Is it okay? Now don't make things complicated. Copy everything here, go to register, and have everything as we expect to have. First name, last name, and the rest. Now also change down here, right from up, call this one register. Is it okay? Yes, so you come back here, copy this. I'm going to just move all of this if you guys already have some idea, not so? Yes, so already at least expect to know what's going on. So this registration system, blah blah. So here I'm going to have, I'm going to break this down now. Just 1 minute. Okay. So when you check here now, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to paste another one there. So that implies this is going to be first name. So this is going to be a text. Someone's first name is just a text, and this is going to be just first name. You get? So this is going to be like enter first name. Is it okay? Then this is going to be last name. So you can also make here this is going to be a text, and this is going to be what something called last name. It's okay, but small letters because it's only going to talk with it in the database. So this one's going to be last name. So meaning we have first name, last name, and we are forgetting something called the what? The phone, which is the last essential now here. Not so? It's okay. So just put the phone there, and the phone you can make it as tail. Yeah. So then here just make the phone, and also here tell somebody to enter phone. I'm done. So that implies everything is done. But here, show them that if you're already registered, what do you do? Just come and say already, maybe already with account. What do you want them to do? Them to log in. That implies this is going to be, instead of that, it's going to be register. And then this is going to be maybe something called register ETL. Get my point? So this is login. So if you check now again and try to refresh there, we should have something nice like that. So you have here up changing to something called register, which is that. So I'm done with everything we expect to have register. Yes. So when someone comes back in our system there, it takes you to login. If you come in here, pushes you to register. So when you click here, register, takes you there. So when you click here, already with account, takes you to login. Already not yet with account, register. Now, when you're ready with the account and maybe forget your password, you need to go to something called forgot what? Password. Get? So maybe forgot. Yeah, forgot password. Not so? So that one's done in the login here part. So you come back down here before the submission, just make a simple paragraph. You can say maybe just tell them forgot password. You can put something here called href and just put forgot password with PHP. So here you can just say maybe click here. So whereby click here, the other round is also going to be a link, maybe a link taking to that. Is it okay? So if you check here, you have something nice like that. Forgot password, click here. It takes you to forgot password. Do I make sense now? You come back here now. So the same piece of line of code, just change this one to forgot password. So here, just remove all of this. We don't need password here. Just verify. So here we don't need to pick this. We need to pick something like this. Already with account, login. Because briefly, we don't expect someone else to go to that session. Get? So I'm done with everything like forgot password, register, and all those sessions we're done with them. So meaning in simple term, when someone comes to our system here and someone clicks on this, okay, like so. You see we have that forgot password, click here. Login, click there. Not yet with account, click here. Boom, takes you. Already with account, click there. Now we'll say forgot password, click here. I'm done with that. So I think it makes sense. So you guys, if you already have some back end, you know what to do now. If this is confusing you, what I did here, I can remove it off. Is it okay? Does this part confuse you? Because you may say, I'm not confused, I'm confused. Why are you putting index page like this? I can remove it whereby you change and you put this part called login. We copy login and you put it in index page. Did I change that? In that here, it should be okay? Okay, good. It's fine. Now that implies in the simple term our home page, instead of having this home page, where our home page is index what? Page, that when someone are done with registering, it should directly be in the index page by default. So after registering, we expect the system to take it to index page. Is it okay? So the next thing what we're going to be doing is to work with something called database here now. So I'm going to come back down here now. You get? So what are we working up with? Maybe register. Maybe let's start with the register. Okay? How to make a register? Remember, we have included up. When you check it on top, we have to include one known as this DB in all the pages we want to talk to. Do it make sense? So I can put that here, like this. So I'm including up DB there, I'm including up DB also here. on this page because we want to connect to the database. And also including, but forgot password, I may leave it because I may not activate it now. Now I'm trying to just make sure that in this page register I've included DB. This page login I've put a DB, and also in the home page or the next page I've also put a DB. You get my point? Now come back here to register. How do we register? We want to just make some bit of understanding to make people register. So these are the things we are taking for registration. And what's our button name? The button name is called register.php. So you just come back down here and just say if insert, what is insert? Post that, the button, if that button is clicked, which is here. I'm on the register page, remember I've inquired it on top, and remember in my form action I've given nothing, which is okay, but I've included this on top. So this is just like writing this piece of line of code on top here. You get? But I don't want to make my page to be overloaded, so I want to put everything one line. So to waste time, I don't know what you guys have been studying, so I don't want to waste time on that. I'm going to just give a simple 4 lines of code should be important to submit data to the database. Just say trim extract, just say post. This is done to post everything that you want to post. The next section is to check if maybe there is registered or if not so. Just say db and say con, which is our connection in this case around its query. Or you can just change and use the normal MySQL guys are using, which is MySQL I underscore what? Underscore query, whereby the first thing is it the connector? Something like that. I get my point, or you guys have forgotten. Which is same as saying insert into users. Also, then say values. That's all. So here, when you check here now, we have this. Get? But now that implies I've not put a check. I didn't check whether that phone number is already registered or something like that. So remember ID is null because for it is already taken. So I'm already inserting that. So when you put here first name, I'm just putting first name because I already have the names defined on my form. Last name, just say last name. Simple. Don't make things complicated. Phone, put phone. For email, just say email. And then for password, it's password. You get? But now remember, for password, you have to come back down here and say password. Which format are you going to keep the password protection? Is it because maybe MD5? Maybe you're going to use MD5 for password. In that, our password here, it's like that. So password is going to come in when it's protected. So I want to just give a condition here and you say if SQL, that implies if it is successful, what do you want? I'm going to just put a simple section here. Or at least to send a message, to send the status of one message. You get my point? And I say maybe I put a div, give a class to our div here. You get my point? And I say maybe alert for successful. Which color should you get? Success. We also want our text to be in the what? The center. Not so? Okay. Registered successfully. That implies you have also an else statement here for when the thing has not successfully registered, or when someone has not successfully registered. We need to get them a danger message here. Registration. Now we also want when it's successful. Okay, let's test now. I'm done with my code. I don't know what you can. It's just 3 lines of code. So that's enough to communicate here. So here on our form up here on top, we want now to bring the other sections, which I will say if it's set section, which is status. Now you're trying to bring the status, which is this status here. We're trying to bring it here, and we're just trying to make something later and say echo for us. Echo for us what? The status. And also after echoing it and echo it, remove it away from us. We don't want it to remain there. What is that? The status still. That's all. So that's enough to communicate to our system, make the system understand what we're going through. So the page you are interested in is the page for register. Get my point? Let me check here again. Already with account, login. So not yet register. So interested to make things here. So you see why you think it's successful is submitting an empty field because we didn't put shake. Are you seeing that? We didn't put shake. Now a simple humble way to make that work without just someone clicking there is putting something called required. Required is an HTML5 property, which an HTML5 stuff that validation kind of which you can use defaultly or by default in all of your form fields. And that someone does not just submit anyhow. For example, if you check now and I click here, you see it is asking me to enter. So for example, my first name maybe is David, the next name maybe is Brian, my phone number, you put the number 07 blah blah blah. My email address you provide, and my password is maybe it's 12345. Now when I submit, I'll get a message there, registered successfully. So when you check if it's just successfully, I'll find my details here. What did I use? I'm using this. I'm picking the name the way it is. First name, last name, sorry, phone, email, and password. The way I'm defining it in the form is the way I'm calling them in the database this time. And I'm trying to pass it directly, say values null, first name, last name, email, password. It should be so straightforward. Now, in the other way around, maybe we're also interested to have, when someone's successful, let the system load and take me back. You get? Now, Bootstrap 5 also supports something called Spinner or maybe blah blah. You can get them here. Or the internet is not there, it's okay. Let me leave that. So I want when someone's successful, take the person after 3 minutes, after 3 seconds, refresh the page. After 3 seconds, uh, after 2 seconds, uh, let the person go to which page? It's called login.php. Like after some few seconds, let it take the person to page called login.php. Means when it's successful. If there's an error, then that implies the thing remained there. So for example, but remember I didn't put a validator here to check if the phone number already exists. So if you try to put the next thing again, the same thing there, put the things there, come in here, and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 3 seconds, 1, 2, and 3, boom, and takes you to login. So it has shown you the other side. I've already logged in successfully, registered successfully. After registering successfully, it takes me to a page called what? To a login page. Is it okay? Yeah. So that takes you there. So that implies we are done with the registration what? Page. Now, also maybe you can just put some bit of a validator to check if that phone number exists. If it exists, show an error. For example, come in here, put a shake. Just come here and say maybe we're dealing with the con, use with the other one so much. It's okay. Let me just come and say this query, and I'm going to just put your connection to you guys, and just say maybe select. What are we selecting? Select everything from what table, which is users. You get users, and say where. In fact, don't select everything. Let's just select a particular stuff. So that you can face. Let's see. Okay, so okay. Let me first select everything from the table called what users, where email is equals to that email right now. Is equals to that email right now we're trying to submit. Yes. That implies if that email exists, just do for me condition. So you shake. So if you shake. If that number, if that email already equals that very email I'm having right now, I'm submitting, then shake. But this method is wrong. I wish we were using video, I would just say fetch column. It's okay, but also MySQL I also have that property, just that I don't remember it very well. But this is it. I expect something like this. So we do that. So in shake here now, we expect to get a message, and we have something here telling us what. Then just say that maybe email address already exists. Yes. So email address already exists there. Again, my point. So that implies in the other way around, when I try to come in here on the registration part, I put the same thing. It's not checking also another thing. It's just going to check for the email. You click there. Oh, just as successfully. You shake. You shake something here. Why? I was expecting to tell me That phone number already exists. Okay, let me check that error and sort it off because I don't expect to be saying that. So I'm going to say select if check mysql underscore connect. Select everything from select email from users where email is equals to that what email. So if it is check in simple term, I'm not. If it is not, sorry, I made a mistake there. I'm trying to. If it is not, if it is not, that implies if that email does not exist. Insert this. Else, if it is there, I don't know if they get my quotation here. I'm trying to say if it is not, like if that email is not there, submit. So let me just try by clearing up everything. So I'm checking with this. I'm trying to put that yes there. I'm trying to put there. I'm trying to go in there. I'm trying to get that there, and I'm trying to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not. It's not there. Email already registered. Let me check this. It's not there. Let me check this again. Just 1 minute. If I check this, I don't know why I'm getting wrong. Check here. Check this. Okay. 5. Submit. It goes through. Okay. How about if I'm checking the second time? Sorry. If I'm checking the second time for that same email, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Okay. Let me just put a row. Okay, let me just use yours, which is MySQL. Fresh. Let's go. So, I believe this is what you guys always used to do. If I'm confusing you, if I'm confusing you, I can first use the basic, whereby you don't put any of these validators. For now, I just submit the record. Now there, that implies I'm not checking anything. So I'm just keeping up things normal. So if somebody tries to register, she just registers. The disadvantage of it does not care how many times someone has what? Registered. You get my point? Okay, so in simple term, let's just go back here. I try to come in here. I give the details. I give here the details. I provide the details. I come in here, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Submit. I've successfully registered. Not so? So we already have that user there. So let's just look to log in for now. So I'm going to just put an else, else here, and I'm going to put condition, which is just a post. Now remember our login point. The login point is also having something called what? Login button. Also, so you just come and also paste that thing. I get my point. So just also come and say trim extract post. Okay to me. So what do you want? You want to share. This is like now I'm trying to fetch all records. So I can say MySQL query and let's say maybe select everything from users. Where what? Where email is equals to that email address right now. Get and password is equals to the password I'm trying to give right now. Get now. If you check now here, there's something you have to know. The password you're trying to give here maybe is MD5 because you have been using MD5 before. I get me? Are those guys with us here or they are somewhere? Okay, so this is it. Password equals to password. So fetch equals to select everything from users where email equals to email and password equals to password. Are you getting me? Now if you check here now, that's it. So I want just to fetch one row. So I will say row is equals to MySQL I underscore fetch underscore what? So, are you getting me? So you can first give a condition here. If fetch. That implies if it is correct, what you want to do. If what I'm doing is correct, then do for me this 0 equals to MySQL underscore fetch a sock. So I'm fetching a sock of the fetch. MySQL underscore MySQL I underscore fetch a sock. So I'm fetching that. So then I want now to do this. I want now to pick this very stuff. These are the things I want to show when somebody has successfully what? Registered or logged in. So I'm going to find something called first name. Simple time I'm going to say something called essential. Essential what? First name. You get this? You're not understanding. Please, I'm recording the videos. That implies you don't understand to him. You understand next week. It's you're having the video there. So that's it. So, or even you're already tired, I know that, not so? So this takes us to something called an email. But you're also interested to get the user ID because you need to ask it when someone is what? It's logging in. Yes. So that's how they do it. So we have this defined here. Now, I don't need to call password in essential. Now you come back here on where? On login, on here index page. So that implies here you're going to find all of those things you've been saying here. So you're going to come and take the opposite of that here. So what are you going to do? You're going to say now, okay, my first name, you can even call it first name or you can just say name of a full name. The full name of the person is going to be same as saying the essential of its first name. So I'm joining. And the essential of their last what? Are you getting me? Then the next thing I'll have is the phone. Phone is same as also having the extension of the phone. And lastly, I have the email, which is that. It implies the complete extension of the system is done. So if I say I want to just echo maybe someone's email, the system should tell me who's that one who has logged in. So if you check back here now here, I try to just put the same thing. That's it. And I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If everything goes on well, okay, MySQL underscore Facebook. That's on line 30. Let me check that. Line 30, fresh. Oh, sorry. Okay, phone. Are you getting that? Yes. So here I'm shaking that. So if I shake that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I click here, what's going on? Expect it to take me back. Check that. Here, where is it? Where is it? Details. Okay. That's user ID. Oh, let me go back here. I want to check something. We're not didn't even put any condition. If is that if fresh else mukoye mukoye nga mungamba login success. Mungamba temubeera bwezaawo ate ne mukadwa mangu. For anything, try to submit here. Saying login successfully. So login successfully, but it's not taking me. So I want it after it login successfully here. After login successfully, also I want it to take me. Okay. essential to where index dot what PHP. Is it okay? Yes. After successful login, I see now. So it implies the user is logged in. That implies what I click here. It means that because I've logged in. I get my point? So it will be the home page of your system. I still get the same number. I've logged in, I've successful. Meaning, if this section is cleared, like me say I'm making logout. Logout, I'm also going to include this, the very thing I've been doing, include the db.php. So in the logout, you just unsetting or unset. Okay, first bring the sessions and you unset them. So I'm interested in much of what? Of email, which is this one here. Yes. So I'm having that. So if that's the point, then just come here and say unset. Unset from what? The session of what? User ID. All of them, all those things you have set them. You can unset them from here. Like for example, also unset from the email. Unset from also the first name. Also unset from the what? Last name. Unset from also the what? The phone. If it's okay with you. So after unsetting, where do you want me to go? After unsetting them, let me just say location header, location, also to the index dot what? PHP. So it knows that after moving it away, for example, if I type here logout, logout.php, you see, it takes me in that very page, but because that page does not have session, it pushes me to login. That makes sense. So it implies that now when I click here and I try to say I'm logging into the system, and I click there, good, it knows. Yes. Now inside there, if I have just a simple button, so I'm just going to come back here down and I try to just change my simple HTML and say home. So I'm going to just come in here and I say maybe div, because we already have our bootstrap like you guys did it before. So I'm having my div. So I'm also having something called maybe row. So if you have row there and you say maybe div, I'm going to just say maybe call maybe id maybe 12. And I have a maybe h1 and I say maybe welcome, and you come and put here. What's that? What you defined last time as essential to someone's full name. Simple as that. So welcome full name, because you say first name and last name is essential. So already that implies in simple time we're going to have welcome David, because you already have that there. So you want Bootstrap to respect that the way you want. So I can call it h2. You get my point? And I'm also going to put another div here. Sorry. I'm going to put another div here, and I'm also going to call it a container, and I'm also going to have a card, and I'm going to have a padding 4. You get my point? In that I have something a bit humble and nice. Yes, something like that. So if we shake now, I have something like that. Remove this useless thing off. We are done with that section. Yes, so if I shake that now, we have something like that. But we want our welcome to be in the middle. So I'm going to come also here and I put some kind of a class and I call it and say text center. Get my point? And then humbly we have something like welcome David. But we have logout somewhere off. So you can come also here now and just put another stuff. Or even you can have it down to make things simple, don't complicate life. You can have a simple logout. Maybe logout. Maybe logout here. So something like that. Let me just show here. Let's check something. I just want to put an issue. So maybe logout. So in simple term, logout statement as well. Logout dot what? PHP. Make simple. Come in here, just put button and then call it maybe dark because maybe whatever. Or you can use maintain the very colors what you're using. Yeah. Get my point? And then here, remember this is card blah blah and this text center, and then you can also change the very part of this very project here. You can also call it maybe biggie primer. It's okay, showing that you have something like this. Hmm? I get my point. If you want to change the color, you can have that. So this is logout. So when you click logout, it logs you out completely. Hmm? Yes. So if you check this, you can just move this off here a little bit. Just keep my stuff there. Simple. Outside there. Are you getting that? If you want to maintain the same div size, just copy it and bring it back there. In that, in a simple term, the system away there. Then you can define the width for this. Not to take it cut one. You can use your own CSS. You can say the width of this one. Let me give it maybe 200 what? Yeah, 200 pixels. In that, my stuff knows the width in which this logout. So you click there, automatically it knows where to take me. If I log in, done that. So we click logout, takes you. Down here you can have tables and all those other stuff. So you can come outside of that if you create another stuff. So you come in here, put a container. You can call a container there, but remember I'm on the same row. But I'm here. So you can first call MD12. Can inside those MD12, you also open up there something called and also open up something called a container. Either they can match with the first one up. So I want just know maybe list of students, maybe this H3, maybe list of students, if that's the point, list of students. Then inside here, you can have something called what? A table. So Bootstrap also supports tables. You get my point? So you can just have here something called a table, some table, and also have something called a table, table response. Bootstrap provides that to us. You get my point? So here I can just come in and say table, I call it table header or table head. Close that. So inside table head, we have something called table row. Inside table row, we have something called table head. You get my point? Good. So here, that implies I can just say maybe name of that student. We also need their what? Email. And need their what? Phone. Good. The rest are history, not so? So outside of that table head, we also have something called table what? Body. Inside table head have table row. Inside table row have table data. So this is where you're going to call a PHP now to communicate and fetch. Maybe fetch what? etc. You can even call it result. Anything you want to call, maybe result, etc. You get my point? Because now here you're trying to fetch everything. So you can say maybe MySQL, MySQL I underscore query. So here you're trying to say maybe select everything from users. Get this is going to give you the list of all the users you have. Are you getting? So here you can just fetch up that. So you can just say row is equals to having maybe MySQL I underscore fetch underscore sock, which is a socking for us the result. This time around the result is that. So that's done. So you just come here and copy this, and also come in outside here. You also close this. So when you do this and try to save this, sorry, do this, and try to come and paste that thing here, you can now fetch all Y records. First one's name, don't come and call this one, because this one calls just extension of that person logged in at that point of time. But here, if you want to pick everything, you call for row. So you come and say row, come and speak to that row. We want what? First name, but we also have the last name of that what? Of that student. You get? Speak to it. Row. Last name. So we also have this one, which is going to be the email, and also have this is going to be the what? The form. Let's move this one off. You get my point? So please, that's how they make a simple form. Now our form, I will bootstrap, but it's not that as expected. Row table. and also table, let's also stick and say width, let it be 100% of what we have. Get me? Yes. Check that. Okay, column D, container. Okay, let me move the container inside the div, in that you can just highlight what we have initially. Check that. Oh, sorry. Check this again. Okay, select this and that. This one, that. I have that. You see here, table responsive, table, what table stripe. Just time for stripe really. Okay, whatever comes in. Don't want to make it complicated. This is it. You can even use this bootstrap stuff, or you can decide not to keep it. It's okay. Yes, you can just use your own stuff, so that you have something like that. If it's okay. And then if I use a normal stuff, I give a bit of a border of maybe one, in that you have something like that. So my friend, that's how you do it. So whoever registers the other side, you add it, adds. You get? So it's just a complete, simple, basic stuff. Not that very complicated. So I expect you guys to have some clue. Does it make sense? Anna in the rules. Does it make sense? Can you guys handle it? So it's not very complicated. So when I log out, I have no access anymore. Otherwise, I want to die. I cannot go to index. But also again, you. By the time you are trying to look control, as if you want to go there, system will and have to. Yeah, so that's it, please.